work, money, and life. When I was a child, I was very poor. My clothes were old, and I had no toys. At school, the other kids laughed at me. They did not want to sit with me. I felt sad and alone every day. At home, we had little food. My mother worked all day. My father was sick and could not work. I wanted to help, but I was too young. I sat and dreamed about a better life. One night I said to myself, I will change my life. I didn't want to be poor forever. I wanted money, a big house, and a better life for my family. That night I made a promise to myself. I started working when I was just 10 years old. I cleaned shoes, I sold water on the street, and I helped people carry bags. Every day I worked hard. I saved every coin I made. Some people were kind to me. They gave me more money when they saw I was trying. But many people did not care. They looked at me like I was nothing. I didn't stop. I had a dream. The years passed. I worked more and more. I learned new things. I started a small business with the money I saved. It was hard, but I never gave up. I was not poor anymore. As I grew older, my business became bigger. At first, I sold small things on the street. Then I rented a small shop. I worked every day from morning to night. I didn't take breaks. I didn't go out with friends. I only worked. Money started coming in slowly, and I used it to grow more. Many times I felt tired. Sometimes I felt sick, but I kept going. I remembered the days I had no food. I remembered the kids who laughed at me. I didn't want to feel that pain again, so I pushed myself harder. I worked when others slept. I planned when others played. Soon I opened a second shop, then a third. People began to know my name. They said I was smart. They said I was lucky. But I knew the truth. It wasn't luck. It was hard work, every day without rest. I still wore simple clothes and ate simple food. I didn't want to waste money. Now I had enough money to buy nice things. But I didn't. I thought, I will enjoy life later. Now I must work more. I wanted to be rich. Not just rich. I wanted to be the richest man in the city. That dream kept me going. I didn't smile much. I didn't relax. My only goal was success. Years passed. I had many workers. I had cars, houses, land. People respected me. Some people feared me, but I didn't care. I had money. I had power. That was enough for me, or so I thought. One morning, I felt a sharp pain in my chest. I was alone in my office. My hands started shaking. I couldn't breathe well. I fell to the floor. I tried to call for help, but my voice was weak. I thought, is this how it ends? Alone, at work, with no one around? My driver found me and took me to the hospital. The doctor said I had a heart attack. He said I was lucky to be alive. He looked at me and said, "You need to rest. You need to live, not just work." I closed my eyes and thought about my life. I had money, but no joy. I had success, but no peace. In the hospital bed, I saw the white ceiling above me. I had time to think. For the first time in years, I had nothing to do. No phone calls, no meetings, just me and my thoughts. I remembered my poor childhood. I remembered my first job. I remembered the old me, the one who had dreams, not just plans. I asked myself, why did I work so much? What did I miss? I missed birthdays. I missed holidays. I missed simple things, walking in the park, laughing with a friend, watching the rain. I felt sad. I had spent years chasing money, and I forgot to live. That day I made a decision. When I leave this hospital, I will change. I will still work, but I will also live. I will smile more. I will take time for myself. I will use my money to enjoy life, not just to grow it. After I left the hospital, everything felt different. The air smelled better. The sun looked brighter. I walked slowly, watching people smile, talk, and enjoy their time. I noticed small things: flowers, birds, children playing in the park. I felt something new inside me. It was peace. I went home and looked around. My house was big and full of things, expensive things, but it felt empty. There was no laughter, no music, no one waiting for me. I sat down and thought, this house needs life, not more things. The next day I made a list of things I wanted to do, not for work, but for me. I wanted to travel. I wanted to try new food. I wanted to visit my old friends. I wanted to help others. I wanted to live the life I never had time for. So I started small. I went to a quiet cafe and read a book. I watched a movie in the cinema alone. I called an old friend and we talked for hours. We laughed like we were young again. It felt good. Very good. I also gave money to a school in my old neighborhood. I visited the children and told them my story. I said, don't forget to live. Work hard, but also smile. Also play. Also love. They listened with big eyes. Maybe one of them will grow up and remember my words. As the weeks passed, I kept doing new things. I went to the beach for the first time in years. I walked with no shoes on the sand. I felt the wind on my face. I watched the ocean waves. I felt like a child again, free and happy. For the first time in my life, I was not in a hurry. I visited old places from my past. The small shop where I worked as a boy, the street where I played football, the house where I lived with my parents. So many memories came back. I smiled. I cried a little too. But it felt good to remember. I started talking to people more. I listened to their stories. Some were happy, some were sad. I learned that everyone has a journey. Everyone has pain and dreams. I was not alone. That made me feel more connected to the world. I also took better care of my health. I ate better food. I walked every morning. I slept early. I laughed more. I stopped worrying so much. My body started to feel stronger. My heart was still weak, but it beat with hope now. One night I sat on my balcony, watching the stars. I thought about the poor boy I once was. I thought about the rich man I became. But now I was something more. I was a man who had found meaning, not just money. Months passed. My life was not the same anymore. I still had my business, but I worked less. I gave more time to myself. I travelled to new countries. I met people from different places. I saw the world with new eyes. Every trip taught me something. I learned about food, culture, and simple joys. I began to write in a small notebook. I wrote my thoughts and lessons. That little book became my treasure. One day I visited a school in a small town. The children there had very little. Their shoes were old and their clothes were torn, but their smiles were bright. I talked to them. I told them about my story, the poor boy who became a rich man. Their eyes grew wide. I said, "Work hard, believe in yourself, and never give up." That day, I decided to help the school. I gave them books, food, and clean water. My heart felt full. Later that year, I opened a small centre in my old neighbourhood. It was a place for young people who had dreams but no money. We gave them skills, books, and hope. I sat with them and listened. I wanted to guide them. I didn't want anyone to feel lost like I once did. Helping them became my new job, and I loved it more than anything. Now, when I look in the mirror, I see more than a man with money. I see a man with peace. I smile more. I laugh with friends. I enjoy a walk in the park. I read books. I play music. I watch the sunset. Life is not just about work. It is also about joy, giving and living. I am older now, but I am happy. I found balance. I found meaning. I learned that money is useful, but life is more than money. Life is moments, people, kindness, and time. I wish I had known it earlier, but I am glad I know it now. This is my story, from poor to rich, from stress to peace, from silence to joy.